This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
Buddhism Plain and Simple by Steve Hagen. Narrated by William Hope. Introduction. When the last millennium came to a close, most of us had lost faith in our ancient storybook versions of the world. With the development of science, many of us have come to see the universe as an inconceivably strange, vast, complex, impersonal, multidimensional, and perhaps meaningless realm of mind and matter. We may feel forced to deal with this loss of faith by going to one of two wretched extremes. Either we blind ourselves to our predicament and attempt to escape via drugs or alcohol or our careers or any of innumerable belief systems, or we face the woeful prospect that we're intelligent creatures living in a meaningless world. Many of us act as though we could find fulfillment if only we possessed enough money, enough security, enough respect, enough love, enough faith, enough education, enough power, enough peace, enough knowledge, enough something. There are others among us, however, who don't, or can't, buy into this. They sense that real security is impossible to attain. For they know that even if we could manage to accumulate all we desire, it will be inevitably taken from us by death. Our mortality looms above us as terrifying as it is certain. We seem utterly stumped. How can we possibly find peace under these conditions? Not only do we feel imprisoned by our ignorance, we seem doomed to remain that way. As Yang Chu, the 4th century BCE Chinese philosopher, put it, we move through the world in a narrow groove, preoccupied with the petty things we see and hear, brooding over our prejudices, passing by the joys of life without even knowing that we have missed anything. Never for a moment do we taste the heady wine of freedom. We are as truly imprisoned as if we lay at the bottom of a dungeon, heaped with chains. What is the basic human problem that no apparent remedy will cure? What is our existence all about? How can we ever possibly comprehend the whole of it? And yet, isn't knowledge of the whole, knowledge that's not relative or dependent on changing conditions, precisely what would be required to free us from the doubts and dilemmas that cause us so much pain and anxiety? We long to be free from our confusion and discontent, not to have to live out our lives chained helplessly to uncertainty and fear. Yet we often do not realize that it's precisely our confused state of mind that binds us. There is a way to move beyond this ignorance, pessimism, and confusion, and to experience, rather than comprehend, reality as a whole. This experience is not based on any conception or belief. It is direct perception itself. It's seeing before signs appear, before ideas sprout, before falling into thought. It's called enlightenment. It's nothing more or less than seeing things as they are rather than as we wish or believe them to be. This liberation of mind, this direct awareness of reality as a whole, is fully accessible to anyone willing to attend to their actual experience. 2,500 years ago in India, a man named Gautama experienced this liberation. He devoted the remainder of his life to teaching others how to experience the same freedom of mind. After he awakened from the crippling ignorance that kept him from knowing what was actually going on, he became known as the Buddha, the awakened one. When the Buddha was asked to sum up his teaching in a single word, he said, "Awareness." This is a book about awareness. Not awareness of something in particular, but awareness itself. Being awake, alert, in touch with what is actually happening. It's about examining and exploring the most basic questions of life. It's about relying on the immediate experience of this present moment. It's not about belief, doctrine, formula, or tradition. It's about freedom of mind. The Buddha learned to see directly into the nature of experience. As a result of his teaching and his life, a new religion arose and spread throughout the world. In the process, like all religions, Buddhism accumulated and generated a variety of beliefs, rituals, ceremonies, and practices. As it spread from country to country, it acquired a wide variety of cultural trappings: special clothes and hats, statues, incense, gongs, bells, whistles, even peculiar architectural forms, icons, and symbols. This book leaves all that behind. Rituals, ceremonies, prayers, and special outfits are inevitable, but they cannot express the heart of what the Buddha taught.